Hello there, everyone. All right, I decided I wanted to play a little bit more with Punisher War Machine, but that doesn't mean that we can't try out a few of the cards that I missed last week. Let's see what I'm going to do with them. Yeah, this is a bit of a mishmash deck of a Surtur shell with a bunch of stuff that we had in the past 7 to 8 days. So let's go through the cards. We're starting off with last season's Super Premium Pass card. I honestly don't know what if it is that. Super Duper Premium. Anyway, Techno Organic Virus, on reveal, 1 cost skill. Copy this to your hand with +1 power. Infect your other cards here and replace their text with the Techno Organic Virus, which is an ongoing +1 power for each Techno Organic Virus you've played. So we're going to be using this to get rid of undesirable abilities, such as Martyr, a 1/6 card. At the end of the game, move to a location that loses you the game. So we don't want that. We just want a 1/6 on the board. So hopefully Techno Organic Virus can just get rid of the nasty text there. Then we've got the latest card, Punisher War Machine, 2/2 stat line. When drawn, mark one of your empty locations. Objective, win that location, +1 max energy. Now, just as I was reading that aloud, I remembered in yesterday's video, card in the top right corner, whichever way that is, that way, that I had a game or two at the beginning where I was wondering why Punisher War Machine, even though it was in my hand, did not do anything. And then I realised he's got to mark an empty location. So, yeah. Let's keep that in the mental bank for future games. Then we've got Shadowlands Daredevil. First video I'll be featuring the new card, or the new Season Pass card. On reveal, shuffle in 3 demons. When you draw a card with 6 or more power, +2 power. And then, obviously, these are the demons. We've got Surtur. 3/5. Text reads, after you play a card with 10 or more power, this gains +2 power. It was noted in the OTA last week that Surtur has been a little bit underplayed of late, so much so that they gave... I'm actually trying to remember the card they gave a buff to. I think that's a sign of how memorable the OTA was. I'll put it on the screen anyway. But yeah, essentially they were pointing out, all right, maybe if we buff this card, that Surtur will get a little bit more play. So I'm probably not doing a great example of it, the fact I can't remember that card, but Surtur, everyone. Then we've got Starbrand, a 3/10. Ongoing effect. Your opponent has +3 power at each other location. A bit like Martyr, we don't want this ability. So Techno Organic Virus, in you come. Then we've got Karen Page. Why not? 4/5 stat line. On reveal, give one of your 1, 2, and 3 cost card characters +2 power each. Can I just point out, by the way, the Victor Faro variant that highly resembles Deborah Ann Wool. I really wish I could get that variant. Just saying, I am super jealous of anyone who's got that variant because, yeah, I remember it back in when I was a teenager watching True Blood. Yeah, that was that is one of those variants that I would have loved to have collected. Let's phrase it that way. Okay, moving on. We've got Typhoid Mary, 4/10 stat line, ongoing. Your other cards here have -2 power. So, again, another Techno Organic Virus target. We got Wilson Fisk. This season's Super Duper Premium Pass card. 5/9 stat line. Text with costs 3 if you have the highest power among cards in play. The limited time I've had to play around with Wilson, he does seem very easy to trigger, so he seemed a natural inclusion in the deck. Then we've got Red Skull, a 5/14 stat line. Text reads, ongoing enemy cards here have +2 power. Again, another Techno Organic Virus target. Then we've got Emperor Hulkling. 6/12 stat line, game start. Copy the text of a random 6-cost card. Now, if that text isn't desirable, Techno Organic Virus. I feel like I'm just saying it's a lot, but it is true. If it is something that we wouldn't want, we can just get rid of it. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. And then we've got Skaar, a 7/12. Costs 2 less for each of your cards that has 10 or more power. Essentially just a reward for getting bodies on the board. So Skaar just makes complete sense to put in this deck. So, a fairly straightforward deck. I feel like I've maybe coped a bit by putting Karen in here when she probably doesn't need to be in here, but I figure we've got a couple of cards that would benefit from buffs. We're going to get the demons if we play Shadowlands Daredevil, so it isn't the worst inclusion. I don't feel like I'm full on cope doing it, but I completely get why people might go, yeah, I'm not doing that. But anyway, like most of my videos, we'll do 10 games. Let's see how they get on. Okay, turn 1, we've got the Techno Organic Virus, but we've got nothing to hit, so we'll just skip turn 1. Turn 2, we've got Shadowlands Daredevil, 3 Surtur, 4 Typhoid Mary. So far, it's looking quite good. Genosha, I would probably avoid playing on, but we could always do Shadowlands Daredevil in one location, Surtur in the other. But I would want to Typhoid another entirely. Moira. Okay, so they've got plans to destroy. Or saying that, it's a Narration deck. So maybe not. Okay, Shadowlands. You know what, actually, I will play Shadowlands and Genosha. Cobra. Fogwell's Gem. Well, that's just nice. So, we'll play Surtur now. Gets a little bit trickier to win that if Punisher gets on the board. In fact, I don't think we draw Punisher at this point. So, you know what I'm going to do? Let's start Techno Organicing. Plus it gives Surtur a nice little bump early on. Weapon H, Quicksilver. S on, AX. Ooh, okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay, well, Surtur's not going to grow any bigger. Let's do this. We buff up Techno Organic Virus cards a bit more. We play a demon there. We can always Techno Organic Virus next turn. Be on the expensive side though. So 2 cards will get destroyed, which buffs up Weapon X a bit more. Okay. A little bit of a bummer, that. I mean, we are winning 3 lanes right now. Hey, we win. I mean, I think that's alright. Good opening game. Alright, we're up against Kojak. We've got the left location marked. Sinister London. It would be very nice if we don't have to push too hard too early there. But it all depends what our opponent's got. Okay, there's 0 in. I think right now we're just Shadowlands there. Put some power in, you know, but not go too heavy. I mean, I'm guessing they want to Lizard or more. More. Also, that didn't occur to me that I was going to shuffle 6 demons into my deck, so that is a little awkward. Might as well play that. Yeah, let's play that. I was debating, do I go for 2, but... yeah, that gets rid of 1 of the demons. That gets rid of their Typhoid Mary. Ultron. Not the worst card. It's +2 for each, so... The downside is there aren't a lot of varied costs on the board. So I think instead I just play Typhoid. We win the Ares battle. We're still not going to win the race for Sins to London, though. I really do need to Techno Organic Virus soon. I think we do... Skaar. Yeah, let's do Skaar Martyr there. No, I've changed my mind. Let's Martyr and let's do Page. Okay, the reward was definitely late, but my thoughts are we can do that there. Ooh, hang on. Techno Organic could be very awkward. Let me just rethink this. I need to overpower that lane, so that actually could be alright. Let's do that. I think that is alright, actually. Because we'll put a drone in the left.
There's no strings on me.
Alright, we got the win. Took a little bit of thinking that, but we got there. Okay. Yeah, 33 to 29, so not the biggest of gaps. 47 to 22, much bigger, but I think the Techno Organic Virus was what secured that. Typhoid really lost us the right, but that didn't matter in the end. Alright. Okay, middle location marked. Something I could do a clarifying in terms of the text. Win that location. I assume... Do you have to win it while Punisher's on the board? Or is it just if you are winning it at any point? Yeah, it's got to be on the board. I mean, they might not even go for it now because... Yeah. Bit of an odd one not to go for, to be honest. Okay, well, with that in mind...
Oh, snap.
Let's do that to kick off. For the record, I could have Surtured, but I want to go for higher power to kick off. Which did pay off because it meant Viv whiffed. We've got 5 energy, so I think we do Techno there and then Surtur there. Again, it should stop Viv from proccing. Jack Flag. That's a choice. Alright, I'm going to struggle to win the location this time. I do like Ulklin for proccing these viruses. Yeah, I actually think I just do that. Because that will even turn Martyr into a 10.
Knowledge is power.
All right. Well, we've got Red Skull as an option, but I don't really want to use it. Yeah. Just big chunky boys doing work there. I mean, what was Starbrand at in the end? 18 is that? I can't really tell because the card art. 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, so +8. That is really good. I mean, we got 2 for Martyr and 4 for. Did I say 2? No, it meant 2 buffs. It should have been 4 power for Martyr and 4 for Punisher. And then Surtur will just keep ticking up if we keep playing +10s. So yeah, that was actually a pretty good one. That final turn we would have had 7 energy, so we could have gone Typhoid Mary and Techno Organic Virus right. Practically, it probably would have been better to do Typhoid right and then Skaar left to get 2 more 10+ bodies on the board. But yeah, that was a productive round, that. It's Dave. All right, Dave. Okay, 2 energy. Just in case we can win it straight out, we will play Punisher. They would have to be playing a very high curve not to be challenging, though. 2 power. Yeah, they go up to 3, so it means they're winning the location this turn. They also... Ooh. Yeah. I think I just sacrifice it. Let's just play Surtur. I mean, if they... I assume they gain the buff if they play mid afterwards. I don't know, that's kind of intriguing. Yeah, it switches to their side. Alright, that's an interesting interaction, I will give it that. So... Honestly, right now, I'm just going to go with demons. Just make it hard for him to gain the bonus energy. They're a Skarnian. Let's... Red Skull here. Ooh, okay. That is going to hit 2 cards. Okay, I've got no way of turning that off. Orca's a funny one. But... I think I'm going to play Orca there. Because let's suppose the Gambit hits Surtur. It might hit Surtur and then one of these. That's not too bad, is it? There's Sasquatch. I'm guessing another one here. Yeah. So the question is, what's Gambit hitting? Oh, not enough. Oh, no, that's cruel. I mean, GG's, but what I will say... What was it that got... Oh, it's the Surtur, yeah. So it was too much of a power swap to, for Orca's ongoing to impact, but it's a shame. I mean, yeah, you just loot +7. We needed, what, 4 more? So it makes you wonder if Orca could go up to a +9, but that's almost Thanos numbers, isn't it? Saying that, Orca's ability is hard to trigger, so if they're insistent on having a card that needs to have a single lane win, why not? I mean, +9 is a very tricky number to, to overpower. So it could make Orca more playable. But yeah, that is generally me just... Hang on, I've just said +9. I'm wrong. It's not even +9, is it? It'd be... What? It'd be 4 more needed, so it'd be +11. That would take him up to a 622. Wow, okay. I don't think they're going to make Orca a 622. Alright, let's move on. By the way, Skaar was dead in the water for me, so that didn't help. Alright. Nerd Avironert. Okay. Sometimes names catch me like that. I'm like, ooh. Alright, Quicksilver, so we're expecting Domino. Well, I didn't hear the 10 rings go in. Let's Shadowlands over here. Then we can Surtur, Typhoid. Probably from there, just Techno Organic Virus to the Typhoid. Maybe play a Demon. I mean, cards with 10 or more power can't be played there, but Surtur can.
Opponent snapped.
Okay, we got a snap. I'm trying to think what might have given them a reason to snap. Okay, Terrax. Filling my deck with rocks is not fun. I assume they've got Wiccan in hand, actually. That is probably a decent snap condition. Okay, they're going for Karen. That does make me think of a Wiccan Shell, though. Not just because of these two, but I'm sure I've heard Karen was in the... Well, I think I said last week that Karen was in the top performing Wiccan Shell. Alright, so we'll Techno Organic Virus that. And we'll Demon there. Let me just double check this. Okay. Oh.
Victory.
I don't know what they were thinking there. Were they maybe going to do Ajax or something? I don't know. Answers on a postcard, folks. What do you think caused him to retreat? Franklin Cuso. Alright, not the greatest opening hand. Genosha. Middle location is marked. White Hot Room, that's actually quite nice. Okay, we're drawing White Hot Room. But we do have the highest card in play, so Wilson could come down. Alright, we get the extra energy. Nice bit of synergy there for what it's worth. Alright, so... At this point, we can actually afford to play Typhoid, just because if we get Techno Organic, we can wipe it out. If not, it will be a little bit awkward.
I'm about to juice this up.
Okay, certainly not on my list of favourite play lines, this. Ooh.
This anymore.
Scorn. Blink. Muramasha. Wolverine.
Enough said, bub.
Scorn again. Muramasa. Okay. I didn't remember Collector in this deck, but now I've seen it, I'm like, ah, yeah, I remember it. I remember. I don't think this is going to be enough, but we're going to try it. Oh, yes. We might just have enough. Because Marta moving wouldn't matter. Whew, we looked out there. Yeah, GG's. I mean, I had to go with this deck the other day, and it is actually quite an interesting kook. I don't know who came up with it. But, yeah, I didn't have the greatest of results with it. That's why I didn't really play it or recommend it as such, but I did like the actual idea. I mean, just the idea of Moon Girl in the Muramasa Shard or Moon Girl in a Marrow. There was some fun playlines in there. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that it didn't really come off. And we're at rank 90 now. I rage a lot. I understand. I sympathise. I try not to rage. Doesn't mean I don't, but I do try not to. Okay, let's do Shadowlands. What was the ability there? Halicarrier. Okay, it could be nice if we do get like a, I'm trying to think of the location name, Sokovia. Other than that, not really useful. Alright, I'm going to do... Let's do Surtur. Waiting up in my head while I want. I'm actually okay with that. It's Galacti. Who is this variant? Scan Shirazwan. Yeah, sorry. It was Stan, wasn't it? Scan, even. I'm sorry, Scan. I had not heard of you. We're going to go Starbrand Techno Organic. Right, Wong. I have not really got a counter to this. I am very, very close to retreating. Yeah, just try and discount the deck. I know if they snap, I've got to retreat because it just means they've got the Galacti. I mean, if I'm reading this right, there's 2 cards in deck. So they got one chance of pulling Galacti. Web Sling. Okay. Majestic Windbeat. And Shuri. Every fibre in my being is saying retreat, but I'm just going to see it out in case they didn't pull Galacti. Maybe that one card in their deck is Galacti. Yet they retreat.
Victory.
Honestly, that was me just being foolish, if you like, in terms of playing on. I mean, Rage a lot, you actually deserved your 2 cubes there, even though you obviously retreated, for the fact that I had got nothing. So I was essentially bluffing by carrying on. So, yeah, I sympathise a lot with you there. Okay, Spider Assis, playing Arisham. Let's start with Marta. You know, it's interesting with Marta because the more power she has, the more likely she is to, like, swing a lane. So you obviously don't want to leave her on the board with that in mind. But equally, it's like, even if you can't Techno Organic, it's like, can I do something else? like here, I'm thinking Karen Page is kind of interesting. Ooh, Blob is interesting as well. Warlock. Or Adam Warlock. I should specify as there is another Warlock in game. Ooh, Triskelion. Let's just put that down and stop Adam Warlock from drawing. I don't really know what I want to do though. I mean, Karen's a little early. I could play the Hood, but I haven't really got a way of getting rid of the negative. So yeah, a little bit confused for my turn 4 player. Hydra Bob and Shang-Chi with no 10 rings. Alright, let's go like that. And let's go like that. Well, hang on, no, I can't do that. We'll play Hood. Okay, I've actually given them a Adam Warlock draw there. That's not ideal. And you got an incentive for it. Okay, so we'll put a demon there. And then we're going Karen Page mid. That... saying that, do we want to do it now? Maybe we do... Let me just check on reveal into... Yeah. Maybe we do 1, 2, 3. Tribunal? Wow, okay. And Drax. This could be quite tricky to come back with.
All systems go.
Yeah, I've got no ramp. The only thing I can think is doing this. I mean, yeah, I am actually right in terms of what I'd do. 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2. In theory, it could boost the lane. It's a shame when I've got a blob, but I know the blob couldn't win 2. Oh, so it's only going to be 1 buff. That just shows if I'd have had the Camotage, I could have won that. Oh, I mean, alright, GG Spider Assist, but... yeah, it was alright, that. It was just a little bit unfortunate. Again, this is where Arisham can be very useful. You know, something like a Legion just coming out. For the record, they're only pure card, if you like, in the deck. I mean, obviously they got the Kangs, but when you think Legion is the only thing that was, like, properly in their deck, it's like, man, it shows the power of Arisham sometimes. Alright, we got a Giganto. Okay.
Opponent snapped.
I'll say it again, okay? You know, if you want snap, bud, you snap. Chavez. Okay. What are you doing turn 2? What am I doing turn 2? They're getting my Hulkling. Okay, I've got Shadowlands Daredevil. I mean, they've got my Giganto. Forge. This is just a buff deck, isn't it? Let's go Wilson. We'll Surtur and a demon. Okay, they're really trying to make sure that lane's secure. We'll do Typhoid and Techno Organic. I'm most likely not going to play the whole clip. There we go, so that should cause Viv to move. So all 3 lanes are up for grabs. Not particularly a fan of that. But I haven't really got a better play line. I figure the second Techno Organic Virus should buff up Wilson. We're putting a fair chunk of power there. We're alright. 4 cubes. Not too bad. It's a shame. I was expecting a little bit more there. I don't know why exactly I got the expectation for more, but I think, I don't know, I think I might have been just expecting a brood, but when it's just torch, it's like, okay, we'll take just a torch. Peter Parkinson. I do like that for some reason. Valhalla. Dr. Doom as the Hulkling, that would be very nice to pull off. They Zabu Valhalla. Be nice if they haven't got a turn 2 play. Oh, okay. The first time we've seen this, and I mean, for me, this is like 20 games because I've done yesterday's video. So yeah, that is pretty cool. I mean, we could potentially both just, yeah. I mean, how I'm seeing it, I've let them have it. They've let me, I've let them have it, so let's roll from there. Alright, let's do Typhoid. They're Jubileeing. Okay, so we do win the lane. We'll play Martyr right, and then we'll do Karen Page. I only buffed these 2, but it's something. Okay, so they're going to get some discounts here. Ooh, and I'm getting hit in the deck. Not a pleasant feeling getting hit in the deck. Right, yeah, that's a small Starbrand. Remind me, what was my Hulkling? Doom. Doom rules all. See, I really want the Techno Organic Virus. How much is that? -2? We can afford to play that. I forgot about Limbo as well. That's going to play a part. Just dawned on me with Cass. They didn't draw that much power because of Techno being in the deck. So that is one thing about having it in there. Less Cassandra power. Does mean that Wilson, Red Skull, Shadowlands are going to be smaller. I'm Patriot. And Psylocke. They really want Ram. Like, either ramp or discount. They're going for those options here. Let's just go with these two. I mean, ideally, we pull Techno next turn, and it's just... It doesn't really matter. We're just getting rid of the Martyr negative, but... Your opponent retreated. Alright. I'm not entirely sure what was not good for them, because I'll be frank, I don't really know what their deck had. I mean, very odd build. I mean, I'm saying that I did a weird deck yesterday, but out of the cards we saw, it was very low curved up until Jubilee. So I can't really work out what their remaining 4 cards would be. I mean, you would have to assume just some high power benefit, as you know, like, say, an Infinite for argument's sake, but why would you retreat now? Unless it was simply a case that it was like an Infinite, but they hadn't skipped, so they hadn't got a way of playing it. But yeah, just a little bit odd. I don't know what they were cooking. Okay, so I am showing 2 decks here because for me this is back-to-back recording sessions, and you know what? I'm actually chuffed with this. So today's deck, we've got an 8-2 record on, 80%, 11 cubes won. But for me, across the last 2 videos and this session, 20 games, 14 wins, 6 losses, 70% win rate, 18 cubes gained. I call that a good night. We hit rank 93, which it feels a bit slow compared to some of my recent seasons. Sometimes I've got Infinite a little bit quicker. But honestly, I'm just glad to get to 93. My free-to-play account's actually lagging behind at 70 odd still, so I need to do a bit of climbing there. But yeah, I've had a bit of fun during this session, and I hope it's come across well. I was honestly expecting this last deck to be a complete... Well, I was expecting both of them to be just seen as big cope decks, just in the sense that, I mean, this last one, it's like I was just throwing in all the new cards in a Surtur shell, and I was thinking, really, is this going to work? But, I mean, yeah, okay, you could cut Karen for sure, right? Karen is definitely cuttable. But everything else kind of worked. I mean, Shadowlands Daredevil, you know, maybe could be cut as well, in the sense that, you know, you don't necessarily want to dilute your deck, but he does gain power quite nicely, so he does work. Yeah. I'm strangely impressed with it. I'm going to have to cook some more. I feel like Ezekiel in the last video really shone for me as well. And, you know, it was only like points of power here and there, but he just really did well. Either that or I've just got a weird thing for him right now. Okay, let's go to the outro. So the Shadowlands Daredevil season is into its 2nd week. What are you thinking, folks? I've only had about 24 hours with all these new cards. I've obviously seen them across the past week, facing them. But yeah, this is my first real opportunity to play with them. And yeah, I think they're quite interesting. I feel like the fact that I got an 8-2 win rate with this deck today shows that individually they've all got their own bits of strength. So yeah, I'm very curious what the next batch that are coming are going to do. So if you're looking forward to more videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll be back tomorrow with a free-to-play video. I believe it is my first week of climbing on my free-to-play, so yeah, let's see how we got on there. Until tomorrow, folks, have a good rest of your day. Goodbye for now.